Hello and welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching WION World this one, and this is World DNA with me, Jyotsna Kumar. Let's begin with the headlines. President Donald Trump says he does not back recognition of Somaliland in an interview with the New York Post. After Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will become the first country to recognize it. Several explosions hit Kyiv as Ukrainian air defenses respond to incoming drones and missiles. Authorities urge residents to stay in shelters. Attacks come ahead of a planned meeting between Zelensky and Trump. Nigeria signals more strikes against jihadist groups expected after a Christmas Day attack by U.S. forces that President Donald Trump said decimated Islamic State-linked camps they targeted in northwest of the country. Israel launches military crackdown on the village of a Palestinian in the occupied West Bank after he kills 2 people in a stabbing and car ramming attack in northern Israel. French police arrest a man suspected of stabbing 3 women at separate stations on Paris Metro line. 3 attacks occur within the 30-minute span. All victims received prompt medical care. Scuffle breaks out at the Punjab Assembly during Khyber Pakhtunkhwa CM Sohail Afridi's visit. Confrontation was quickly controlled. Imran Khan's sister condemns Punjab government treatment of the Chief Minister. Major accident involving over 50 vehicles occurred on Japan's Kanetsu Expressway, killing at least 1 person and injuring 26 others. Social media footage shows smoke and multiple vehicles on fire. An Islamist mob attacks a concert by singer James in Bangladesh's Faridpur, opposing music and cultural festivals in the country. James managed to escape the attack. Gold prices surged to fresh all-time high above $4,545 per ounce, extending a powerful year-end rally as investors sought safe havens amid easing liquidity and thin holiday trade. Platinum futures also surges past $2,400 an ounce, setting a new record as strong demand and limited supply lift prices. And Israel has become the first country to recognize Somaliland as a sovereign state. Now, this move marks a major diplomatic shift. Now, according to a statement from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office, the declaration is in the spirit of the Abraham Accords, referring to several agreements between Israel and Arab countries brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump during his first presidency, to normalize ties with Israel. And during a telephonic conversation with Somaliland President Abdirahman Mohammed Abdullahi, Netanyahu also said that he would communicate to Trump regarding Abdullahi's willingness and desire to join the Abraham Accords. Abdullahi hailed the Israeli move, saying it marked the beginning of a strategic partnership.
I think this will be a great opportunity for expanding our partnership. We intend to work together with you on economic fields, on agriculture, in the fields of social development. all the things that we hope we can assist you, and we obviously believe in this friendship.
Israeli Foreign Minister Sar has said that the two countries had agreed to establish full diplomatic ties, which will include the appointment of ambassadors and the opening of embassies. However, President Donald Trump has said that he opposed U.S. recognition of Somaliland after Israel announced its major move. Somalia has sharply condemned Israel's decision, describing it as a deliberate attack on its sovereignty. It further added that illegitimate actions of this nature seriously undermine regional peace and stability, exacerbate political and security tensions. The African Union echoed Somalia's rejection of any recognition of Somaliland, warning that such a move undermines Somalia's unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity, and could set a dangerous precedent for peace and stability across Africa. Somalia's close ally Turkey has also condemned the decision, calling it overt interference in Somalia's domestic affairs, while Egypt joined Turkey in rejecting the move and reaffirmed its full support for Somalia's unity and sovereignty. Well, let's shift our focus now. The war between Russia and Ukraine rages on as multiple explosions rock the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. Authorities have issued a warning that Kyiv is under the threat of a missile attack. The latest strike comes ahead of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's planned meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump in Florida. Kyiv's mayor urged residents to stay in shelters, while adding that air defense forces are operating. The Ukrainian Air Force also announced a nationwide air alert in the wee hours of Saturday. While Kyiv came under heavy bombardment, Ukraine's second-largest city of Kyiv also got pounded by aerial strikes. At least 2 men have been killed and 8 others, including an infant, have been injured after a guided aerial missile struck one of the city's central roads. Authorities in Kyiv said that dozens of apartment buildings and private homes have been damaged. They added that the 2 of the 3 Russian missiles targeting Kyiv fell outside the boundaries. Officials said that the exact locations of the missiles are still being confirmed.
There is a 9-month-old baby with a head injury. Together with his mother, they were taken to one of the city hospitals.
I was returning home with my dog when the explosion occurred, and I intuitively pressed myself between the windows of my building. I also hugged my little dog close to me. The noise was very loud, very loud.
Following the vicious attacks, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he held a staff meeting that focused on countering Russian Shahid drone strikes, expanding the country's drone line, and conducting deep strikes. Zelensky claimed that the equipment used for strikes against Ukraine have also been mounted on residential buildings. The Ukrainian president also warned Belarus of surrendering their sovereignty to Russia, while also condemning them for their absolute disregard for human life. In the midst of these strikes, Russia has accused Ukraine of trying to torpedo talks on a U.S. plan to end its military offensive. Moscow said that the 20-point peace plan presented by Kyiv is radically different to the one they negotiated with Washington. Now, the accusation is ahead of Ukrainian President Zelensky's meeting with U.S. President Trump at the latter's Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida. The meeting would focus on ending Russia's invasion into Ukraine, Kyiv, of course. A deadly explosion has struck a mosque in Syria's central city of Homs, killing at least 8 worshippers during Friday prayers and deepening fears among the country's already traumatized minority communities. The blast hit an Alawite majority neighborhood, turning a place of worship into a scene of chaos, smoke, and panic, as ambulances rushed through streets that quickly fell silent. An Islamist militant group has claimed responsibility, saying explosive devices were planted inside the mosque. And this is the second attack on a place of worship in Syria this year, and comes at a time when security remains fragile following the fall of Bashar al-Assad. Authorities have sealed off the area and launched an investigation, while initial findings point to a planned attack rather than an accident. Homs, a city deeply scarred by sectarian violence during the civil war, is once again at the center of tensions. Since last year, members of the Alawite community have reported kidnappings, killings, and targeted attacks, despite repeated promises from Damascus to protect all sects. Now, massacres along Syria's coast and deadly clashes in Druze majority areas have only intensified these fears. As Syria's new Islamist-led authorities seek to protect stability and national unity, the real test remains on the ground, with places of worship turning into targets and minorities feeling increasingly vulnerable. Now, France has condemned the explosion, calling it an act of terrorism designed to destabilize the country. The French Foreign Ministry said in a statement that the attack is part of a deliberate strategy aimed at destabilizing Syria and the transition government. It condemned what it said was an attempt to compromise ongoing efforts to bring peace and stability. Now, the question now is whether the state can prevent the country from sliding back into the very sectarian violence it claims to have left behind. Now, Saudi Arabia is being linked to airstrikes in Yemen's Hadramaut province, with UAE-backed separatists claiming Riyadh targeted their positions in a move that highlights deepening cracks inside the anti-Houthi alliance. Yemen separatists say Saudi strikes will not deter them. The claim was made by Southern Transitional Council, which says Saudi warplanes carried out multiple strikes against separatist-aligned forces in the region. Saudi officials have, however, cannot confirm the operation. The alleged strikes come just a day after Riyadh publicly called on separatist forces to withdraw from Hadramaut and Mahara territories they took control of earlier this month.
The airstrikes do not intimidate the people of the south. Their message in the squares is clear: either the restoration of the state or death. There is no other choice.
Saudi strikes today are considered a dangerous sign between the two sides. The state of South Yemen and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which had been regarded as a key supporter in confronting Iranian influence. The people of the south stood with the Saudi-led coalition with their blood and their youth, but today's strikes are seen as a direct threat to this population.
The escalation has put fresh pressure on Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, regional allies that back rival factions within Yemen's internationally recognized government. Now, that government remains a fragile coalition held together primarily by its shared opposition to the Iran-backed Houthis, even as infighting among its own partners threatens to further destabilize the country. The Yemeni government says around 15,000 Saudi-backed fighters remain near Yemen border. While no casualties have been reported so far, but the claimed strikes have raised fears that internal power struggles in southern Yemen could open a new and dangerous front in an already protracted war. Well, saltwater crocodiles are emerging as some of Australia's most unusual household pets. More than 60 licensed residents are legally keeping baby crocodiles at home. But now government is tightening the rules with new permits, fees, and fines. Under the current law, both freshwater and saltwater crocodiles can be kept with permits, provided that the owners meet strict enclosure and safety requirements. However, as the animals grow rapidly and can become dangerous, their ownership has long been controversial.
We've nicknamed him Louis Vuitton, just because, if he bites me again, he might end up a handbag one day.
Under the new rule, a 5-year permit fee, mandatory identification for each crocodile, and updated enclosure standards. Authorities say the changes are designed to improve safety and accountability, particularly if an animal escapes. Under the draft regulations, owner could be charged significant recovery cost if a crocodile gets loose. The government had previously considered banning pet crocodiles altogether, but later reversed the decision, saying there was no strong justification for a complete prohibition. Now, supporters of the practice argue that regulated ownership encourages responsible care and raises awareness about crocodile conservation. While some enthusiasts say that learning about crocodiles up close helps people understand their role in Australia's ecosystems, the proposed regulations are currently under review as authorities balance public safety concerns with long-standing local traditions in Northern Australia. Well, 2025 was a dramatic and unforgettable year in the world tennis. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner redefined their rivalry. A high-profile doping scandal sent shockwaves through the tennis world, and 27-year-old Aryna Sabalenka proved she is the best in the business. Now here's a year-end review for tennis in 2025. Sinner started the year as world number 1 after winning the Australian Open, but he then missed the next 3 months due to a doping suspension. Now, during his absence, Carlos Alcaraz steadily closed the gap and eventually took over the world number 1 spot. Alcaraz finished the year ranked number 1 for the second time. Well, in total, he won 8 tournaments, the most by any man on tour. Over the past 2 years, Sinner and Alcaraz have dominated the sport. They have split the last 8 Grand Slams among themselves. The duo combined for 14 titles in 2025 alone. Their Sincaraz rivalry reached a peak in June when Alcaraz came back from 2 sets down and saved 3 championship points to win an epic Roland Garros final. The Spaniard also triumphed in Rome, Cincinnati, and at the U.S. Open. But Sinner came out on top at Wimbledon and at the ATP finals.
With Carlos is also a bit, different because of on-court reasons, and we have a very good relationship, rivalry, call it however, and I feel like, we can talk about everything still, and I think it's great. We are good friends off the court. We do respect us in a very healthy way, and also the teams, my team get along very well with them, and I think it's a good harmony, but in the same time, there's also the work and all the rest behind, which, it's all about balance.
Meanwhile, in women's tennis, there were 4 different Grand Slam champions. Madison Keys won the Australian Open, Coco Gauff captured the French Open, and Iga Swiatek claimed Wimbledon, making her a Grand Slam champion on all surfaces. Aryna Sabalenka rounded out the year by winning the US Open. Sabalenka was the most consistent player on tour. The 27-year-old finished the season as year-end world number 1 for the 2nd consecutive year. She recorded a career-best 63 match wins against just 12 losses. Those 63 victories took her to 8 finals where she won 4 titles. Another player who had a standout season was teenage sensation Mira Andreeva. Andreeva lifted back-to-back WTA 1000 titles in Dubai, then at Indian Wells. She was just 17 years old when she claimed both trophies and underlined her Grand Slam potential with statement wins over Sabalenka, Iga Swiatek, and Elena Rybakina along the way.
Well, of course, I've won 2 tournaments this year, and obviously those are probably the most memorable moments of my career so far, and I hope that next year I can also do something that I would remember for a very long time, and for sure I can say that this year was great, and I hope the next year to be the same, maybe a little bit better.
And while for any other global superstar achieving one of the milestones Shah Rukh Khan accomplished in 2025, a Met Gala debut, a first national award, or 60th birthday film festival would define their entire year. For Shah Rukh Khan, these 3 towering achievements merely punctuated his definitive 12-month reign, confirming his status not just as the Badshah of Bollywood, but as a genuine global cinematic and cultural phenomenon. The year 2025 was less a chapter in his career and more a lavish diamond-studded anniversary of his entire legacy. The shift from national icon to universal cultural behemoth was instantly solidified on the first Monday in May when Shah Rukh Khan made his highly anticipated debut at the Met Gala 2025 under the theme Superfine Tailoring Black Style. Khan arrived at the Metropolitan Museum of Art steps not just as an invited celebrity, but as a representation of global cinema, dressed impeccably in custom Sabyasachi couture. His choice of attire: a striking tailored black ensemble layered with ornate Indian-inspired jewels, including his famous K locket, transformed into a spectacular diamond piece. Perfectly blended the theme of black dandyism with his signature Indian aesthetic. Images of 59-year-old striking his iconic arms wide open pose on the steps of the Met went instantly viral, proving that his legendary charisma transcended language and geography. While Western media outlets initially struggled with his name, Khan, with characteristic humility and charm, simply introduced himself, "I'm Shah Rukh." If the Met Gala was a nod to his global standing, the 71st National Film Award in September were a monumental recognition of his artistic depth at home. After a decorated career spanning over 3 decades, Shah Rukh Khan finally received his National Film Award, winning the Best Actor accolade for his powerful dual role in the 2023 blockbuster Jawan. The moment was charged with emotion. Khan's trademark humble bow to the audience was met with a deafening sustained applause. Critics and fans alike hailed the award as long overdue, acknowledging that while Jawan was a commercial behemoth, the sheer range and emotional complexity he brought to the characters of Captain Vikram Kaur and Azad deserved the highest cinematic honor in the country. In his acceptance speech, Khan thanked the jury but dedicated the award to his fans. And as the calendar turned to November, the celebration peaked with his 60th birthday on November 2nd. And instead of a single private bash, the festivities transformed into a public cinematic celebration of unparalleled scale. India and Dubai cinemas launched the first ever Shah Rukh Khan Film Festival, a spectacular 2-week retrospective event starting on October 31st. The festival screened 7 of his most iconic films, including classics like Devdas, Om Shanti Om, Main Hoon Na, and his award-winning Jawan. Now, the move generated massive enthusiasm, giving younger generations a chance to experience his magic on the big screen, while providing older fans a rush of nostalgia. The festival, coupled with the traditional throng of thousands of fans gathering outside his Mumbai residence, Manath cemented his 60th year as his Diamond Jubilee, a testament to his 3 decades of unrivaled influence on Indian and global culture. In the of course, Film History 2025 will be remembered as the year Shah Rukh Khan did not just return to the forefront, he conquered the most exclusive arenas of film, fashion, and cultural recognition. From his Met Gala debut to the National Award stage, and finally a birthday celebrated by a nation in darkened theaters, King Khan did not just own 2025, he made it an integral part of his enduring legend.
Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you very much.
And with that, we call it a wrap to this bulletin, but don't go anywhere. News and updates will follow on the other side. You're watching Beyond What is Fun. Stay tuned.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide, because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is one.
It's straight out of a sci-fi film. Drones in the air and under the oceans. Identifying targets and attacking at will. While autonomous defense systems on the ground track and knock the drones out of the sky. Sometimes humans still need to push a button. At other times, an algorithm makes the call. Man playing God has never worked out well. And if we give robots the choice to make life and death decisions, then will we ever be able to take that back? Don't miss Rise of the Machines, a special year-ender episode only on WION at these times.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. To some, it's an extreme ideology. To others, it's the very soul of India. To some, it's rebellion. To others, it's a principle of nation building, coming soon to challenge perceptions in RSS centenary year, Syria at 100.
Where darkness hides behind every corner. Where the truth is stranger than fiction. A show that dives deep into the stories which shock and mystify. Unsolved murders. Psychopaths who defy explanation. International war crimes. And millions swindled in financial fraud. The victims, the accused, and the sinister plot. Crime is your front row seat to darkness. WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One. From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. To some, it's an extreme ideology. To others, it's the very soul of India. To some, it's rebellion. To others, it's a principle of nation building, coming soon to challenge perceptions in RSS centenary year, Syria at 100.
Where darkness hides behind every corner. Where the truth is stranger than fiction. A show that dives deep into the stories which shock and mystify. Unsolved murders. Psychopaths who defy explanation. International war crimes. And millions swindled in financial fraud. The victims, the accused, and the sinister plot. Crime is your front row seat to darkness.
Vielleicht nur als Impostant.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching WION World is One. I'm Jyotsna Kumar. Let's begin with the headlines. Kim Jong-un praises nations North Korea's alliance with Russia, saying both the countries share blood, life, and death in the Ukraine war, while sending New Year's greetings to President Putin.